Hey everyone, we are live today on the Technicolor Mike B Show. Yes, we are live and we are doing another video to celebrate International Clown Week. Yes, we are doing International Clown Week, which means I'm doing things a little differently. I have a video that had me making this clown version of myself. And jokes for today. Yes, today's theme was exercise, because we don't want to be clown weak, we want to be clown strong. Yes, so we talked about exercise and jokes about exercise. Those videos were on this channel, but they were, the title of the video was something like Sir Toonie Celebrates International Clown Week, Day 2. So yeah, you could find the video on YouTube on my channel, where we do our typical balloon design and jokes of the day's theme. But today I thought we would talk about performing as a clown. Yeah, I think that's really like the one thing that people become a clown so that they can perform. It's not just, for most it's not just about getting dressed up in a costume and makeup and looking pretty and all fancy and special and being the center of attention visually. We are clowns because we are performers. Clowns do things to entertain their audience. So there are two types of performances that people can do. One is a scripted performance. If you go to the theater and you watch Hamilton, if you watch any of the Broadway shows, you will see a scripted performance. That means all of the people on stage are following a script. They know what to say, what to do, when to do it, how to do it. It's rehearsed, it's timed, and it is executed according to a script. The other type of performance is unscripted, and that would usually be considered improvisation or improv. And with improv, you might have a general idea of what you're going to do. You might take input from the audience of specific questions and have an idea of, well, we've done this show 50 times, the audience will usually say one of these 5 things. And so yeah, even though it's improv, you don't know what's going to happen. The performers work together close enough, often enough, that they can feed on the energy and predict what someone will do. They'll know, oh, he likes to eventually bring this conversation into horses, or whatever, or he likes to talk about exercise and fitness. So you have an idea of where things might go, but it's not scripted. Now, as a clown performer, as we talked about yesterday, I change my clown makeup to fit the mood, the event, the location. So today's makeup that we did is the August makeup. Yesterday we did the white face, and with the white face it was all white everywhere, and then it still had like the eyebrows, it had the red nose, it had the lips, it had the highlights on the cheeks, but it was white. Today's makeup, I have white around the mouth and around the eyes, and the rest of my face is more or less a flesh color. It used to be that it was an August color, which is more of an orangish tone. There's a clown pink color because some use pink. So there are other colors, but the August makeup in general has regions of white and regions of not white. And so, yeah, just like yesterday, where I had a different makeup, since I am doing my own clown, I can choose what I want to do. So if I do a performance, it could be a scripted performance, where I'm following a script. I know I'm going to say these things in this order, or I can be unscripted. I personally like to be unscripted. I've never had the patience to do a rehearsal and practice saying the same thing over and over again. And so that's the benefit of being an individual clown. I can do my show however I want. I can go off a script or I can go unscripted. But when you're performing with a group of clowns, or you're performing in a circus, you're doing a week-long Christmas special, you're doing something at the amusement park on stage, performing a show day after day, 3 times a day, those shows will almost always be scripted. And that means things happen in an order. You're going to say the same thing in response to whatever is going on, and the person who is running the sound system, the person who is opening and closing the curtains, the person who is changing the light pattern, they know what you're going to say, what you're going to do, where you're going to do it, and they can execute the show in a consistent manner. So yeah, if you are performing a show with other clowns, you will probably have a scripted performance. Now, I've met many clowns over the years, and some of them like to improvise. They like to surprise people, catch them off guard. There are a handful of actors I've heard, like when Robin Williams was alive and he was in movies, he would just go off and be funny. That wasn't on script. No one knew what he was going to say. No one knew what he was going to do. And because he was a talented individual, it worked. At least it worked for him. But usually when you're performing with another clown, it's important that you're not trying to stump them and make them get lost and have no idea what to say next or what you're going to say and do. It is best to follow the script. I've only done a handful of group performances. That has been like the one thing that I always wanted to do as a clown. I wanted to perform for an audience, do shows, but I haven't had a lot of opportunity to do that. There was one convention that I went to where I took I think it was like a day and a half workshop on putting together a show, and we worked, I think there were like 10 of us, one instructor, and we had a show to perform. And we picked various skits that all followed the theme. It was an old Western style theme in a saloon, and that various people came and go, and all the skits sort of were fitting that location. Well, I remember we were rehearsing that skit, and with a lot of the skits, there was wordplay. Wordplay is when you say something that's not quite correct. You're maybe a little bit too literal. And there was one line that I remember from the skit, that it was a skit. I was the son, and I had a mother and a father in the skit as well. And I just brought home my report card from school, and I got some bad grades. And my dad was asking me why my grades were bad. And then he started asking me questions on whatever subject. Maybe it was math. And it was like, what is 3 times 3? And then I'm supposed to say, well, I think it is 9. And then the mom says, well, son, I don't think, I know it is 9. And the son responds, well, Mom, I don't think I know either. So like the mom was saying it is, I don't have to think because I know. And the son took it as, well, I don't think I know. yeah, if you don't get the lines right, you don't build up the skit and the joke appropriately because you ad-libbed the line, then it won't work. The audience won't get what's going on. So it's important, like when you're doing wordplay, that you don't just sort of get the gist of your skit. You get the right skit with the right words, the right dialogue, the right phraseology. The last few years, I've tried to push my clown group into doing a skit night, where we would get together and I would bring a video camera. We'd all come in clown and costume, and I would have a bag full of props, and we would perform skits. Usually because it was hard to get them to rehearse and practice, we'd have to sit at the beginning of the meeting and say, okay, we're going to do this skit. Here's the punchline. Here's what you're supposed to do. Here's the prop you use, and go. And we would film it. We'd critique what they did. Tell them, hey, well, why don't you try doing this? Or you did that line too quick. We couldn't tell what was happening. And we would do it over again. A few months ago, I did find videos of some of those skit nights, and I started going through editing the videos and posting them to YouTube. I still have 5 or 6 skits that haven't been shared yet. That is my goal for this week, to get them published for International Clown Week. So yeah, that was one of the opportunities we had to perform skits. It was one that I had to sort of find the skits, find the props, and get them to play along with me. Now the question comes, where do I get my skits if we are going to perform, if our Clown Alley is going to perform? Hey, thanks Chris. Just trying to do some cool things every day, so I hope you keep watching. There are books on clown skits, but usually I got my skits. There are websites for like the Cub Scouts, the Boy Scouts, and the different kid organizations that have campfire skits. During summer camp, a lot of them will put on skits, and they will have websites that have skit outlines of dialogue, how many people, what to do. I find videos of Saturday Night Live and other skit comedies on YouTube that have ideas. I look for variety show performances. One of the skits I did in one of the clown competition, I think it was for World Clown Association, I was watching the Super Bowl, and there was a Doritos commercial where a boy invents a time machine. Or like, I guess he pretends it's a time machine, it's not really a time machine. And I thought, what could clowns do for that video if we were to, in line of that commercial, to make it a skit. So yeah, I brainstormed the idea, and eventually I came up with the idea there would be 2 janitors working to clean up a science fair. So there were, it was after hours at a science fair, kids had their projects all set up, and one of the science fair exhibits was a photo booth. Now, you didn't know it was a photo booth from the beginning, but it was set up as a time machine. And the 2 clowns get excited about the time machine. They talk to each other and say, hey, we should use it, we should use it, we should give it a try, see if it works. And one of the clowns, well, we can't both get in. One has to turn it on and the other will be inside. So you'll turn it on and flip the switch, and I'll go inside and travel through time. And so yeah, so they do that, and I come out of the time machine like a minute later, holding this a magazine cover showing that I was the clown of the year 10 years into the future, that I had traveled through time and brought back a magazine as proof. But yeah, the other clown was so excited and wanted to give it a try and going into the future. But it was getting late, we had work to do, we couldn't do it. So, convinced the other clown, no, you can't, we don't have time, maybe tomorrow you can do that, but we have to finish up and head out, that someone's waiting for us. And then it's like, as we're walking off, I pull off the sign of the machine that says it's a photo booth. So now everyone knows it's a photo booth, they know what happened, but the other clown is none the wiser that it wasn't really a time machine. So yeah, that was just a skit that I had come up with, put a few days of thinking into it, I bought some poster board, reflective poster board, and some twinkly lights that were battery operated so that lights could be flipped on and off and different things, and printed some signage for the side of the time machine photo booth. But yeah, that was just based on a commercial I saw and said, hey, what can I do to turn that into a clown skit? So yeah, I think the best thing to do is to try to create your own skits. We did a workshop once of taking existing clown skits. One of the famous clown skits is the skit called Stagecoach. Now, in Stagecoach, you have two clowns on a stagecoach. And they're like, for Wells Fargo, they got the money bag or the safe chest of coins. And they are getting on the stagecoach. The one's doing the shotgun position to protect them. And the other is the driver. And it doesn't take long before they notice the robbers are following them. And in that skit, the clown looks back and says, oh, they're following us, hurry up, go faster. And he's like, well, how far are they? Well, I don't know, well, they're about this big. And the little time goes by and they're doing the stagecoach thing and making the turns and trying to outrun them. But the bad guys keep getting closer and closer. Oh, they're getting closer. Well, how close are they? Well, now they're this big. And as the time goes by, they get bigger and bigger and bigger. And they're like, well, shoot them, get them. It's like, no, I can't get them. I've known them since they were this big. So yeah, that's the punchline of the skit. And at a workshop, we tried to, what could we do in the theme of Stagecoach without a stagecoach? And we came up with a skit of, there would be two adult children discussing poor mom, one of the relatives who is getting old, and it's time to move into a nursing home. Well, you have the old person on the walker slowly crossing the stage. Oh, kids, I'm coming, just wait for me. And the kids, oh, no, you have to tell mom that it's time for her to go into the nursing home, that she needs more care than she's getting. And they go back and forth bickering, and moms keep on, oh, kids, I'm coming. And at the end, she's right there, and it's like, now, kids, I might be old, but I'm not deaf. I've heard you talking. You're not putting me into the nursing home because I've known you since you were this big. So yeah, it's the same basic punchline as the Stagecoach, but it is a totally different skit. It's an old lady, it's two kids talking about a nursing home. There was another skit I had created that was when the airline started doing the checked bag fees and your bag's too heavy. It was, how would a clown at the airport deal with their luggage being too heavy? What would they do? And the person I was working with at the time on the skit, we decided instead of just being like one clown, it would be 3 or 4 clowns dealing with that same problem of their luggage being too heavy. Some of them tried to bribe the airport person. One of them had a bunch of balloons in their suitcase, so I thought, well, if I inflate the balloons, that will make my suitcase lighter. In comedy, there's a rule of 3. You do things 3 times, so you have 3 different people. The third person decided to take everything out of the suitcase and put it on. So he had on 3 pairs of pants, a bunch of hats, shoes, shirts, jackets, just about everything he could possibly be carrying in his suitcase. And then the person at the airport employee says, well, sir, your suitcase is fine, it's not too heavy, but I'm sorry to tell you now, you're too heavy, you can't go on the flight. So yeah, that was just sort of the twist of your bag's too heavy now because you put everything on, you're too heavy. Yeah, we did that at a clown convention, and one of the clown couples I know, they sent me an email when they got home from the convention, and they said, wouldn't you know, we were at the airport and our luggage was too heavy, and we thought of that skit that you had created about your luggage too heavy. They had to move stuff from bag to bag and then to carry on and maybe put something on to get the bag light enough. So it was a real world situation that people could relate to. And I've done various versions of that skits with a group and as an individual. I bought a stuffed chicken that is like the size of a basketball, and so yeah, so I'm at home and I'm trying to lift the luggage, but it's too heavy, I can't lift it up. And I opened the bag to see what's inside it, and there's my chicken, Henrietta. She wants to go on vacation with me, so she's stowed away in the luggage. Yeah, so yeah, I just took that same skit and rewrote it for how many people I had, the situation that was available. So yeah, if you want to be a clown and you want to do skits, take a look at existing skits. Now, one thing a lot of people say is don't plagiarize. Don't take someone's skit and do it exactly as written. The same thing comes with a magic routine. If you bought a magic trick online, at least I haven't bought magic in years, but usually it comes with a sheet of instructions and maybe a script that you can use for how you could do the trick. The best entertainer will maybe look at the instructions, find out how to do the trick right, but then put their own story to it, put their own twist on it. Yeah, there are classic clown skits. Stagecoach is one of them. It's been done hundreds of times. It's tried and tested. There's a skit that's like, is it time now? Is it time yet? Is it time yet? And it finally is time, and they all cross their legs from one side to the other and switch directions. So yeah, there are tested and proven skits, but yeah, I think they're more fun if you can make them your own. And another thing about performing, a lot of places where clowns can perform, a place that clowns do perform is at clown conventions. And at a clown convention, there are strict rules on your performance. You have 3 minutes, you have 5 minutes. The timer starts when you enter the stage, it ends when you leave the stage and you get your last prop off. You can't make a mess. One of the things that some of the clown conventions have had, I don't know if they all still enforce it, but there is a hierarchy in the clown world. Today I am the Auguste clown. Yesterday I was the white-faced clown. The white-faced clown is the boss. He is the top rung of the totem pole. If someone's going to get a pie in the face, he's going to be the one delivering the pie, and the Auguste clown is going to be the receiving end. And so some of the clown conventions, when you have your skit competition, they will say, did the white-faced clown take on the traditional white-face role? Did the Auguste clown take the traditional Auguste role? Is that hierarchy clear from the skit? My perspective has always been, I had no idea that there was a hierarchy when I started out as a clown, and I don't think your audience knows it either. I grew up in the Chicago area. I think I mentioned this yesterday, and we watched Bozo's Circus. And Bozo is the white-faced clown. Cookie is the Auguste clown. Cookie is always scheming. Bozo always comes out on top. And partially that is because Bozo is a white-faced clown. Cookie is Auguste. There's a hierarchy. But as a kid, I saw it as, well, it's Bozo's show. It's named after him, so of course he's going to be the guy on top. And Cookie is not the name of the show, so he's going to be on the bottom. To me, it had nothing to do with the makeup. It just had something to do with their role on the show. So yes, I've met people that said that they did a skit and they lost points based on the wrong clown makeup for the skit, and I disagree with that. I think if you do a good skit, that is what your audience is going to enjoy. There's some aspects of the coaching they might give and suggestions of how to make the skit better are usually valid, but you have to take competition with a grain of salt. They are doing it from a textbook standard and not from a true entertainment value standard. So that is just my 20-minute spiel on performing as a clown. Scripted, unscripted, wordplay, and making sure you actually get the dialogue right. Get your skits from places like YouTube. Watch Saturday Night Live. Watch the old variety shows. Look for campfire skits from the Boy Scouts and other scouting organizations. And then take that skit and make it your own. Customize it. Put your own spin on it. Put your own character in it. Twist it around. So I hope that helps if you're thinking about performing. Hopefully we will get back to the day where we can have an audience full of people and not have to worry about social distancing. This is a great time to work on looking for new material, work on designing, writing, practicing, rehearsing, and getting ready for next year when we are back performing in front of a live audience instead of just doing YouTube videos. And nothing against YouTube video. I have a clown friend who's been doing YouTube videos, and he does it in several characters. There's a puppet that's usually in it. He has a magician character, a clown character, a mime character, and he does it sort of like the Muppet Show. So I applaud him. I find his shows enjoyable, and I wish I had come up with that idea and had the motivation to put together actual performance skits beyond just making balloons. As I said, this balloon is in my other video for today from Sir Toonie, so you could find him in that video and see how this balloon was made. It was not really a demonstration, just sort of something to do while telling jokes about exercise. So, this is Sir Toonie Van Dukes, or as you know me on the Technicolor Mike B Show, this is Technicolor Mike B, signing out saying so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, and goodbye. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. Thanks for watching.